Yeah, it was just a shock, man. I don't really have much to comment on it other than it was a shock to kind of everyone in the shop.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Moto Outsider. We are alive. Chris is alive. I'm alive. And contrary to popular belief, we actually have full-time jobs that took us away from this. But nonetheless, we are back for the 2025 Supercross season. Chris, how have you been, dude?
Nah, I've been great, man. Dude, life is busy. I think everybody understands that, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
this isn't our full-time gigs. We're not really making much money on this, so we did kind of disappear for about 6 months or so, but it's okay. It's all right, you know? Better late
Yeah.
than never. We're
We,
back. Matt's growing his beard and hair out. Like life is good.
Chris is staying manscaped over
Feels
there. And
good.
dude, 2024 was arguably the toughest and longest year for me, at least.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people feel the same way, man. But I'm glad that we're coming into the holidays and we get to start over fresh with 2025. And without a doubt, we're already at new season drama. And there's a lot happening, which is why you and I wanted to get together and do this quick. So
Yes, but
do
before
tell
we
me
get
what
into
is,
this,
yeah.
remember we had this idea. We want
Okay.
to talk to the viewer. The viewer. We never forget about the viewer. If you guys
Yep.
had $15,000 right now. You had 15 grand. You watching this video. You could buy any bike you wanted. What would you buy and why? Is it a Stark? Is it a Triumph? Is it a Husky? Let us know in the comment section below.
So what are you
That's
buying?
Oh, Triumph for sure. That new 450. I talked to my buddy today, who is a little more in tune on like bikes and stuff. I've been out of it for a couple of years, like riding. He says that the Triumph frame and the geometry of it, the rake is all built around a YZ250. And I guess other people have been saying this. And dude, got probably a few hundred hours on one of those, probably 1,000 hours on one of those bikes. So that with a nice 450 motor sounds pretty good. So I don't know.
Well, if
How about
there's
you?
one, dude, if there's one person who can fact check it, it's our boy Drew. And we should probably have Drew on the show.
Yeah.
And
He probably won't. They probably won't admit that. They probably won't admit that because it's his
well,
own bike. So
we might be able to ask some questions and figure it out. But if I had the same, I would probably get the new, probably the KX 450 SR or
oh,
the
okay.
Works Edition Honda. But I'm gonna throw a curveball, and I know your dad would appreciate this. A fully rebuilt last year, 2006 or seven CR 250 two stroke.
Okay. All right. I mean,
Is
that
that the
probably
last year they
vibrates their
made
arms
those?
off. I think it was oh 06, oh 07, maybe. Oh 06 for sure.
Yeah, fully
They're hard to find.
rebuilt factory two stroke from that year, man. That would be
Okay.
sick.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on these things. I mean, 15 grand, you could definitely buy a Suzuki and mod the whole thing out. There's a lot of good
Yeah,
ways
but
you can spend 15 grand on a bike. So,
it's still a Suzuki though, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Nonetheless, man, dude,
wow.
we've already got some season drama starting already, which is fun. And I know everyone loves to just beat the Degan train to death, but we've got Tomac involved now, which makes it a little bit more dicey, man. What do you think's going on with all that stuff?
Dude, yeah, I don't know. I do wonder if it's like playful banter or not. I'll throw the screenshots up on the screens for you guys to watch. But essentially, there's Deegan, the Deegan 38 channel on YouTube. They posted a video of some training at the farm. Tomac was down for a photo shoot, and obviously they're probably doing some motos, probably testing the bike a little bit. And I don't know, like this one Instagram page that I just showed here, they posted a clip of just Tomac and Deegan battling, and Deegan actually passes Tomac. I don't know the context. I don't know if it was first moto, second moto, third moto, sight lap. I have no clue. They're riding pretty hard. Deegan passes him. And then Eli Tomac crawls out of, wherever he is. He tweets, posts. He does this like once a year. And he's like, he pretty much called them clowns. It was like, oh, they probably didn't show him the second or third motos when he got third or fourth. Um, if you guys remember, if I can find the tweet from when Tomac responded to Zach Osborne a few years ago on Twitter, randomly out of the blue about How Tomac struggles under like roost when he gets roosted. I don't know. Tomac just kind of like appears sometimes and is like, "No, you're wrong. I'm right. You're an idiot." It's really funny to
Okay.
see.
Okay. So personally, I'll give you my take on it and I look at it from a different kind of lens. I actually think it's the playful banter kind of marketing stuff because I like to look at these guys as if they're like boxers and their
Yeah,
job is to sell a fight. That's why every
yeah,
time you see all this stuff, like we'll use the most basic, disgusting example of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
hmm
Like they're friends on the back end. They probably flew on the same private jet to Vegas. Like
for sure.
all of this is marketing to sell the fight and the hype. And I feel like the same thing is coming up with Supercross too, right? Because they're all individuals. It's an individual sport.
Yeah,
So if you want to, I mean, Degan's got a massive team behind him. You know, Jet has a massive team behind him. And when I say team, I mean fan base. And I feel like you get the fans riled up, you get everyone riled up, and now everyone's watching the season. Viewership goes up on all the channels and on the races.
yeah.
So I'm looking at it from that way. That's what I
I
think.
s-
But I mean,
yeah,
for Tomac to reply though, and maybe get a little trigger, get a
yeah.
little, I guess you could say feel some of the heat. Maybe I'm wrong, and I
I
could
mean,
be wrong.
Tomac's that guy who, probably has an account manager on social media who typically, I'm guessing this, if he has to post something for Yamaha or Monster, they send him the
Yep.
tweet and either he posted himself or his wife or somebody does. So it's just weird when you see him actually like go on there and type out something that was not spelled or, just perfectly grammatical. Emojis, the clown emojis. We're breaking it
Yep.
down. So it's just so weird. It'd be like, I don't know, like Tom Brady, right? Like someone like him just going after people
Sure.
on Instagram for what's probably nothing. He's a GOAT. He's one of the best all time. He could actually top the list this year in Supercross if he was to have like a crazy season. But he'll probably, keep adding wins on second all
Yep.
time Supercross wins, which is amazing. I don't know, man. It's just weird for someone like him to worry about it. But the Deegan
Yeah.
fans, nothing against you guys if you're watching this, but some of the Deegan fans are a little rough. They're a little head over heels, and I don't know. It just comes out strong. It comes on really hard, I think, for people,
Yeah. And I think that's the younger generation kind of stuff coming to a head
Yeah,
too. Same with Jet, but not as intense.
it
And then
still
I
needs
also,
it.
yep, 100%. And dude, and side note, man, like I deleted my Instagram like halfway through the summer,
Yeah,
but those are the worst accounts to follow is the ones who have the account managers where everything is so perfect. It's like this is just
perfect.
gross.
You're just sick
Yeah.
of all the baddies popping up in your timeline and all the bad thoughts in your head. Is that what it was, or you
Dude,
just trying to free yourself?
no, man, like it was a massive distraction. And
No, it is.
it took away from work so much. And this year was very difficult work-wise as someone who's self-employed. So I'll digress on that. But dude, imagine being the manager for let's say you're the account manager for Eli Tomac. Imagine what that dude's DMs look like.
Dude, if that's
Or
actually a
Deegan's
guy,
DMs or
or just
Jet's
Deegan's in
DMs.
general, dude, 100%. There's so much drama with all that, and I mean, we could talk about this for days, but um, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm just curious to see if there's any interviews that come from this, if Deegan or anyone
Sure.
talks about it. I haven't seen much. Deegan responded, "Sorry, bro, I think my throttle was stuck or something," like joking around, and then commented
Yep.
on the video and said, "I think this is AI," like having fun with it. So maybe it is a good time, but Tomac seemed a little upset. But on another note, talking about managers,
Hey.
some pretty big news from Star Racing that could affect those guys.
So close to the season too.
I know. So Jeremy Coker, Star Racing's 450 manager, has actually left the team for Triumph. Now he didn't leave to be their 450 manager. He left to do more of like a global role. I think he stays like the general manager of like U.S. operations. I don't know. It's really interesting to see something like that happen.
Yep.
Tomac actually did respond to this in an interview with, I believe it was Swap Moto Live. Didn't have much to say, so I don't know if he was upset about it.
So the big news of recent days is your team manager Jeremy Coker's departure for the Triumph team. Is
Mhm.
that something that was just sprung on you, or did you kind of know it was coming? And what are your thoughts about his move?
1 second, on. Okay. Yeah, going back to Jeremy, it was out of the blue for us, and yeah, it was just a shock, man. I don't really have much to comment on it other than it was a shock to kind of everyone in the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just
Dude, that's a big move this late in the season. We're about 3 weeks from A1.
Right. And let me ask you this too, because obviously Tomac's responsible for riding the bike and getting the job done, right? But how much do you think he actually cares that the team manager left? Like, I think that would leave more of a bottleneck or an operational strain on the back end rather than the rider
Yeah.
side of things. But what do you think?
Um, the only reason I think, again, like I listened to a podcast, we talked about this with Steve Mathis. So, I mean, my information's not like brand new. You guys can listen to this yourself, but it
Yeah.
almost sounds like, Coker was like a buffer between Bobby Reagan, the owner, and then Brad Hoffman, the other guy there. That he's another like big manager under Bobby. So I don't know if it was like, having someone that you are comfortable talking to underneath the big guys, where Bobby and Brad were expecting results every single weekend. They have Coker to kind of be like, hey guys, like I know you didn't do great. And he's not letting them take the brunt of the beating when they have a bad night, kind of, you
Yep.
know?
Right.
So I don't know if they're losing that person and that's why that would kind of bother them. But I don't know. I mean, it is weird this time of year to be leaving. But
Yeah.
31 weeks of travel is a lot for any sport, any
Dude,
team.
I was listening to a podcast with a Formula One team boss who said he flies on average 600 to 700 hours a year in the air,
Yes. That's
dude.
unreal.
So
That's unreal.
imagine motocross is on a smaller scale, supercross is on a smaller scale. That strain, family stuff, and everything in between, that's a lot. I
Yeah.
personally, I don't like traveling. I'm not a fan. I couldn't imagine being trapped on a plane, for that amount of time. I mean, if the money's right, probably, but still, that's a lot, dude. So I mean, I don't blame them.
I
I
mean,
know it's so
that's,
close to the season, it's probably more than what it's worth, but
yeah.
still,
Well, coming back from that,
massive
that's
curveball.
25 days in the air. That's like a full day in the air.
Yeah, that's insane.
$600. Unreal.
Yep.
Unreal. But yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, like it is a lot on these guys. And I think that maybe over the next few years, we might start seeing some less racing because I do think a lot of the guys are kind of over it, even though they're making more money now with this whole super motocross thing. I'm for that. I think we could get away with 20 weekends, 25 weekends. We don't need to be adding
Mhm.
more races. And honestly, 17 rounds of supercross, after around 10 or 11, you have a pretty decent idea of what's going to
Right.
happen. You know,
But this,
it's,
right, but this segues into the conversation of media stuff and how
Mhm.
much the channels want to make from views and
Yeah.
rate and ratings and everything else. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, you as the writer are the entertainer. We own the rights to essentially you and everything. So 25 races just went to 29 this season. Now it's 32 the following. That's a very real thing in that world. So it is what it
Yeah.
is.
We just got to cut back on injuries. I think we were pretty lucky this year. We had a really good season with injuries. I mean, Tomac did get hurt.
Yep.
Webb was a little hurt. There was a little bit of drama and stuff in the middle of the year, but Jack got hurt in outdoors. But in general, for the most part, everyone was fairly healthy. And we want to see that again. And I do think that having 20 races versus 31 would probably see longer careers for these guys. I don't know. I say that now, but your top 450 guys are all almost 30 years old. So
Right.
who knows
Well, I'm
what am I
hoping too
talking
this year
about?
brings us a lot more stuff to talk about, a lot more interesting things to happen with the younger guys, especially
Yeah.
between 250 East and West. That'll be fun to watch shake out again. The new Young Bucks and the 450s, man, there's going to be a lot to talk about this year coming up, man.
Yeah.
For
I mean, I'm super excited. I'm pretty sure that Indianapolis is, if not the first, one of the only East-West shootouts. So those are always really good. Just seeing all the guys come together. I don't see many people beating Deegan. Levi Kitchen for one might be somebody to maybe take him on. Training with Chase Sexton again this year and Tom Viel. Like I think that's a huge
yeah,
help for him. I don't know. It's going to be a great year. There's a lot of switch ups with teams and riders, and we're going to do a longer form podcast of this with everybody soon.
yep,
Again, we're kind of like a time constraint today, but we've been wanting to do one of these episodes for so long. So
yep.
apologies
And
for our experience.
dude, let's not forget our phone conversation. To all of our Florida viewers and to all of our Massachusetts viewers, maybe New Jersey.
Yeah.
There is a possibility you might see us milling about at the races. Possibly.
Yeah, for sure. And we'd
Possibly.
love to
We'll
see you
see.
guys too. If you enjoy us and are still around and still sticking with us and want to come
Yeah.
say what's up, definitely
The
Tampa.
t
I'm planning that.
Yep. Dude,
I'd
the
love to
Tampa
hit
race
some
is
Florida weather.
20 minutes from my front door.
Yeah.
So we gotta
So
go. No excuse.
yeah, no, we'll be there for sure. But yeah, we're gonna actually do a podcast in person next week. Matt's flying home from Florida to New York on Sunday. So
Yup.
you'll see probably, excuse me, a couple of these next week in person, which would be really cool. So
Yep.
everyone who's still here and watches this, thank you for the support. Of course, we appreciate it. And we don't really do this. Like we had a really, really strong year, but this is gonna be about a really good year for us,
Yeah.
2025. So
No
10
doubt.
races.
Dude, everyone knows gonna stick with us. We're gonna rock and roll, no doubt. We're gonna keep bringing that outside perspective into this sport because it's much more fun. We have so many cool things we're working on. One of which I'm super excited to roll out personally as we get towards the middle of the year. But guys, we're back. Comment, say hello, say what's up. Let us know in the comments what your bike is going to be for 15 G's when Chris sends you $15,000 to go buy one.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Yeah, give me a few years.
love it, dude.
Good
Well, my
stuff.
man, dude, great seeing you again as
Good to
always,
see you
brother.
as well, Mr. Moto Matt. You have a
Yep.
safe flight this weekend, and we will see you probably Monday or Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday it is. We're going to be in the office filming. Everybody stick by. Get ready for it. It's going to be big. Huge. Huge.
Can't wait.
That's it,
All right,
dude.
man.
All right, man. See
Moto
you.
Outsider. Peace.
Out.